Hello everybody, Robbie here. I'm at a basically quiet place, but if you see from the background where I'm at, okay, I'm at a place of rest for most souls, and this is an old cemetery, a very old cemetery, up to date, but, colonial to now. And, and a lot of people that had passed away in the cemetery had passed from the Spanish flu, certain pandemics that were out there from A to Z. Okay. I was reading up, about the 1918 pandemic laws that I definitely want Congress to change. All right. And the way they followed is like today, and I was also thinking back of all the times when I would go any place of significance, whether it's a doctor or whatever. Some people felt the need in certain places and certain businesses would put like you stand in front of it and it takes your temperature. So if you have a fever, they won't permit you in the premises. I get that, but it's still a violation. Just like the HIPAA laws, got to show your vaccination card, right? If you're not vaccinated, you were not permitted in any businesses. You were not permitted to have your hair done. You were not permitted to go to churches and different places of religious prayers. Okay? You couldn't have a funeral. That was out of the question. And you couldn't go to hospitals to be with your loved ones on their last moments of their life. And I was reading up about Congress members during the pandemic. Many of them stayed indoors. They didn't want, because they were in contact with people that tested positive for COVID-19. So they stayed indoors. I forgot the word. You know the word I'm talking about, okay? And I looked and saw how many members of Congress actually passed away from the effects of COVID-19, and only one showed up. A young man. His name is Luke, okay? You know who I'm talking about, Congress out there, right? He was a Republican-elect in Louisiana, the age of 41. Luke Letlow, that's his name, all right? 41 years old. He got the infection, the bacteria, and he was hospitalized. But apparently he, from what I'm reading, passed away, cardiac issues. They're showing up today, proof of today that the pandemic vaccinations and other garbage that they injected all of human throughout the world cause a lot of heart issues and a lot of other things. This man was a 41-year-old healthy man with a young wife and young children. The only one in Congress that passed away. Dr. Fauci, he has one week left to prosecute him. All right? He got his right-hand man there, but we don't have him in there. And I watched so many videos with him with that sniveling face of his and the mask below his chin, and then when he goes on to cameras, he lifts his mask. When he's done with the cameras, he lowers his mask, and he forgets that there's hot mics and cameras still rolling, and promoting the pandemic vaccinations, which caused so many deaths in the young male youth. The mild heart problems, all of it, okay? And I still got to go in my living room every day and see my son, in his urn. We couldn't be with my father-in-law. No, he passed away by himself. So you know how upsetting it is? I mean, the whole world suffered from it, okay? Dr. Fauci needs to face what he did, okay? I'm going off course because, I wanted to pass 2 laws, change the pandemic laws, which is imperative to do, and bring back the Mental Health Systems Act, because there's so many mentally ill from A to Z out there because, from the pandemic, of course, but a lot of alcoholics, which they're working on with that, with the alcoholics and the drug addicted and all that, but there's still the mentally ill out there. that are walking the streets and closing institutions and all kinds of stuff. We got to do something with the money, you know, some of the taxpayer money or some of the money coming back from the COVID, and open up certain branches. Get these people off the streets, you know, because they're harming everyone. They're harming themselves and they're harming a lot of people. But Dr. Fauci has 1 week left. All right, enough with the distractions, okay? The distractions is all that is trying to put off the inevitable, all right? Excuse me. And even if we don't have him prosecuted in this world here on earth, he will be facing judgment in heaven. It's a given. Trust me on that. But I feel and I think it's only right to have him face charges along with his wife, okay, Christine Grady. You know, I mean, Bill Gates is facing something, but all of the people involved with this plandemic, too many lives were lost, all right? People have to answer for that. People have to answer. We have 1 week. Put aside the distractions. Let's put the feet on the ground and let's get going and have people face what they did. It's only right, you know. Like I said, we all lost loved ones. We all lost children, friends, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. Everyone lost, okay? And like I said in my other videos, like a year or so ago, it cannot be swept under the rug any longer. It needs to be taken out. We need to bring the facts up. We need to bring everything up. And a lot of families want answers, you know, because like I said, at the end of the day, you know, we lost so much. And also at the end of the day, evil never wins. All right, everybody. Just remember that, okay? I'll say it again. At the end of the day, evil never wins. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless the world. And let's make this worldwide, because pandemics seem, the laws, everything seemed to, it was narrowed down throughout the whole world, but so many lives were lost in the world, and we should just put one worldly law together and end all this shit, okay? But Fauci needs to face his charges, as well as Gates and all the people involved with it, you know. But let's get the main people out there, the characters that were pushing the vaccinations that we know now were bad. Let's get them. All right, everybody. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless this world, and God bless all the lives lost from all pandemics, through all the centuries of pandemics. Okay? Take care of yourself.